Well, hello. I'm Franz. This is Andrew. Well, your audio is kind of weird, but there we go. Yeah. Hi. This is your Concrete CMS Town Hall for the month of March 2024. Man, you're chugging right along.
It
Uh,
is.
Very cool. Should be a pretty brisk town hall today. Don't have too much to show, but a couple of important things to talk about. So if you've got questions or want something to say, stick it in chat now so we don't miss you. Good morning, John. Let's see, jumping right into it. We did our first Tuesday of the month point release with 9.2.7. Andy, anything in particular jump out worth mentioning?
Yeah, this was a pretty light release. Not nothing in there. Certainly, there's a few more things than our last release, which was sort of an emergency one to get some CK editor bugs ironed out. There's, about a dozen or a little more than a dozen things in this release. Some things that jump out. If you use the calendar, there was an issue where we weren't showing all the available times in the list unless you type the time in manually, which you could do, but this is a little nicer. If you use the date time attribute in Express or on Pages or really anywhere, especially if there were time zones in your site, you might have gotten some strange behaviors in a previous update, saving in the wrong time zone, for example. That has been fixed. As always, the ever-present PHP 8 bug fixes are there for just tightening up the code here and there. Thankfully, a lot of those are getting a lot fewer in number, and they're mostly in these kind of lesser traveled code paths. And but we got a few of those fixed in there. There is one security update in there. The issue that it fixes is very low priority, but we are committed to trying to fix those wherever we can. So that is good. And then there's a couple little improvements in there as well. So definitely if you're on a recent version of 9.2, there's low risk in updating and your site will get just a little bit better.
Awesome. Okay. Good job. Thanks, Andy. And hi, Jess, and everybody in Florida as well. Let's see. Other thing in the news I want to talk about is the marketplace. So let's share my screen a little bit as we talk. We have been working away for the past couple of months on really the last piece of rebranding from the old Concrete 5 to Concrete and rebuilding our own stack, kind of cobbler shoe situation. But that is the most important piece, amusingly, our marketplace. So you can see some of the, I don't know why I've highlighted that. You can see some of the stuff that is coming together already. We've got these custom landing pages. Worth talking about real quickly that we are describing more of what goes on in the market around concrete than we have in the past. Historically, we've always had themes and add-ons, so that should be pretty covered ground. We are pulling integrations to third-party SaaS stacks out of add-ons. So in the past, you might have found, Shopify or MailChimp add-ons just kind of mixed in with image galleries and the rest. Our sense is that folks are using Concrete to build business applications that really compose data and functionality from many different existing solutions in their stack. And so centralizing anything that integrates your Concrete site with a active service provider is going to be good just for clarity. As a business user comes here, I just want to be able to see, oh, look, it integrates with Microsoft 365 and this and that, the other. So that's integrations. Web hosting should be pretty obvious, but we're going to include more budget hosts and describe some of our own hosting plans in here. So if you're looking for different ways to safely host a Concrete site, that will all be in here. Platforms are full applications that are built with Concrete. So we've built a couple of interesting things. How's that different than an add-on? It's probably not something you would install on an existing Concrete site. It's probably something made with Concrete or that uses Concrete that serves more of a specific vertical purpose. And then last but not least, we have services, which are all of our services partners today, which are just kind of in a members list, but those are going to get more of a featured placement. So you can see here's a list. We've already started moving content in here. And so, maybe you're seeing your own name in here. Hello. There we are. So very cool. Let's see, we've got product detail pages coming together. The whole thing just looks much more modern and clean than what we've had in the past. We are taking some significant time to standardize stuff. So I think historically we've really taken a look, we're providing the infrastructure, but this is a bizarre run your own storefront. And we're trying to take a step more towards this is our boutique, and things in here should have a somewhat consistent tone and in terms of product description, and really putting some considerable effort from our team into going through everything and trying to make each listing as good as we can. So that is all important news to you guys, because during this month, certainly by the end of this month, you should be hearing from us saying, hey, come take over your listings. So we are flushing this all out. We are joining it to accounts. It's coming together well. We're in this kind of highly iterative phase of, hey, can we, not have these two buttons? Can we have this? Can we change that? So we're tightening that up this month. But by the end of this month, you will be getting invites from us saying, come in here, make sure that everything that we've said about your product is still actually the case. If you see what we've done and say, look, I can do even better screenshots, and I got a better idea for icons, by all means, do better than we did. But we want you to come take over your listings and whatnot. I think that's most of what I have to say about that. Am I missing anything, Bandy?
I don't think so. I mean, those are definitely the highest. The biggest changes are inclusion of a lot more stuff in the marketplace. I think it's pretty great because, historically, by only including the literal code plugins that you can install in the marketplace, we're kind of, the size of our community is a bit dwarfed when you do that. You don't see anything that might be hosted on GitHub but require kind of a more hands-on effort to install. You don't see the platforms that are built on Concrete that don't really install via the very literal package installation. So I'm pretty excited to get this in the people's hands. And that's about all I got to say about it.
Nice. The last thing I will say here is, as we've talked before,
nice.
We are moving to an annual subscription model for updates on all these listings. So if you buy a add-on or theme, you get the copy of that code base as it is right now. You get updates for 364, or I guess this year 365 days. And then a year from when you buy it, you get a reminder from Stripe saying, hey, this subscription, I'm going to charge you again. You don't have to pay that. If you're like, that's cool, I don't want to, then you are welcome to enjoy the code base that you bought a year ago for as long as you want. It is open source, so you can continue. You can tinker with it yourself. If you don't want updates, more power to you. But if you want to continue upgrading Concrete and continue upgrading the add-ons in your site and enjoy the benefits of an ever more secure, fast, and improved platform, then these are subscriptions. So that will work annually for self-hosted sites that are hosted kind of out there in the ether. And then we are also, as you may know, if you come to Concrete CMS and you try it now, you can actually get a site on our SaaS platform right here, where you don't have actual access to the code base, so you can't go and tinker with all the PHP, but the site is just automatically upgraded. So essentially Concrete in a SaaS format. And because we are managing that, and we have access to the code base, you don't, we can actually offer free trials of add-ons there. So if you just want to see what this image gallery is like, you could spin up a copy of it on one of these demo sites and tinker with it there. And we can also offer monthly subscriptions. So if you're not sure if this is really a project that deserves a year of your attention, maybe you're getting married in 2 months and you're building a website for that, and that's all you really need. Cool. Well, on the SaaS platform, you'll be able to pay for these extensions on a month-to-month basis if you choose, or an annual one. So, probably a pretty big point that I just blazed right over. But very excited about that. We think it's going to kind of get us back to, I don't know, 15 years ago when we first went open source and there wasn't as much SaaS software out there. Open source was actually the easiest way to try new software, because typically commercial software meant you had to talk to a salesperson and wait for weeks for something to get set up and all that. Now times have changed, and sometimes it feels like being open source is actually a barrier to entry because, I've got to figure out all these parts and I've got to pay for things up front and I've got to kind of put my engineer hat on to make anything work. So we are trying to pivot that around a little bit and make it just as easy as it was comparatively a lifetime ago to get started with Concrete and to try out your extensions and themes. So very long way of saying, if you are a developer that is sitting on themes, if you're a developer that's sitting on integrations to third-party SaaS platforms, and if you know about platforms that you've made and you've thought, I'm wary of putting it in the old marketplace because for a single fee, it's kind of hard to know where to price this. I'm going to end up having to do support for the rest of my life for free for a bunch of people with varying expectations. We want you to come back and look again and consider putting your work in here. There's a lot of opportunity. We are only putting things that are version 9 ready in here. So there's a lot of cleanup happening from the old marketplace, which means there's a whole lot of kind of blue ocean. There's a lot of integrations that need to be built. There's an opportunity for a lot of good-looking themes to be added. And that's all very cool. Last thing that I'll say, we move on to thanks and PRB and that kind of stuff, is not with the initial release, but as we get this stuff up and starts working, we are going to pivot back and start looking at different pricing models. So not just subscriptions, but can we do usage-based models? So, if you're selling an intranet, for example, pretty much everybody that you're competing with or a client would be comparing your price to is basing it on users per month. And so it's really difficult in that light to say, well, this is a fixed fee. This is $10, $100, $1,000, $10,000, whatever. None of it makes sense when everybody else is saying this is $8 a user a month. So bringing the ability to price things like that into Concrete and our marketplace is kind of on our roadmap. Possibly even doing custom metrics. So you want to build an e-commerce solution for Concrete and you want to make it so 1 to 5 products is free, but 5 to 20 costs you something. That is something that we're interested in helping you make happen. So Booyah Shop. There you go. That's a lot of information. There it goes out there in the world. Short version. If you are an existing marketplace developer with version 9 extensions, be on the lookout because we are coming to show this off to you. Wow. Okay. Nice. With that said, let's move on to talking about some people in the community and thanking you for all the hard work that you do. Andy, do you want to do some shout outs here?
Sure. Thanks to everyone who committed code in the last month. That includes Quentin Gatch, Quentin Norbert Zero, and John the Fish. And to everyone who opened issues, thank you so much. That includes Strand Bean, I am Pedro Piedad, Hishi, Marco Chioni, Heiko Kidiao, Masuva, Shirok, Biplob, Lost the Plot, Morier, C5 Dragon, Kurt Kunin, and Gutig. And thank you to everyone who contributed documentation or lively, useful discussions on the forums. That includes EBMU, DCOM, Abati, and Travel Notes. So thank you all.
Nice. Thank you, everybody. Say it every month. It always it never ceases to feel pretty cool that we are part of something bigger than us. So appreciate you and everything that you're doing. Whether you're just using Concrete and enjoying it, or you're in there helping others in the forums and GitHub, we are bigger than the sum of our parts. So it's pretty awesome. All right. It is time for us to check in with new marketplace listings. Jess, do you have... Here we go. Someone's getting added to the stage. Here we are.
Hello, Concrete community. Today, our PRB report will be short with only one package. Cookie consent by Masuva is a great tool to help you get closer to complying with GDPR and other privacy laws. This one is meant to replace Concrete's core tracking codes. It lets you separate ad scripts like AdWords from performance scripts like Google Analytics. This will provide your user with more control over what they're willing to accept. And the good thing is any script rejected by the user will simply never get loaded. The package comes with plenty of design and operation options, so you can tailor the experience to your user as well as your own expectations. And best of all, this package goes for the great price of nothing at all. It's totally free in the marketplace. Well, that's it for today. Take care, be safe, and until next time.
Awesome. Oh, here we go. Awesome.
Thanks. That's
Yeah,
cool.
very cool. Yeah. Nice to see that functionality. I love that it's free for everybody, making the world a better place. All right. Jess, you were finding a bunch of government websites. Oh, here we go. I'm going to share this. We were looking through logs and spiders and stuff and have found that the great nation of Paraguay loves concrete. So, big old handful of concrete sites. This one is the Paraguayan, I'm going to say, DEA site, I guess, as I understand it. So, like, there's a bunch of different news content and fairly significant archive going back a ways. And yeah, I think that when we're looking around, there's a pretty large cross-section of government sites from Paraguay. Is there a blog post about that that we stuck up? Cool. I think that's just like the nation of Paraguay is built with concrete. So yeah, very cool. All right. I believe. Oh, here we go. What's this? Yeah, this is the blog post I was talking about of Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Like, yeah, the whole stack of sites built with concrete there. So next time we're looking for something to do, Andy, I guess we have to go to Paraguay. And,
all right, let's do it.
Enjoy the VIP tour of government. Yeah, it's fun. It's something that we actually
wow.
Don't know who has done this, but good for you. Appreciate that you have. Yeah, so look, it just keeps going on.
Holy cow. That's cool that you got that list.
Pretty cool. Good work, Jess. All right, gang. Well, unless anybody has any questions for us, going once, going twice, we are feverishly moving content from the old marketplace into the new one and changing button labels and fixing bugs. So I think we're probably just going to get back to that and wish you all a great month and talk to you in April, if not before.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Thanks so much. Talk to you later. Where's the outro? Here we go.